Yes, Michelle, just for clarification, we're actually at the site of that fatal shooting in Bishop Lavis last night. The Provincial Commissioner did brief the media with regard to 3 arrests, as you mentioned, in relation to this crime. He also updated us on that incident in Athlone, which occurred overnight. 5 people were shot, 1 fatally, but there's not more information that I can give you right now with regard to that. But obviously, that's something that the Provincial Commissioner will be able to update us on now. There have been no arrests with regard to the Atlantis shooting, in which 5 people were killed on Wednesday evening. But to tell us a little more about these mass shootings, a spate of 3 over the past 48 hours, is Provincial Commissioner Thembisile Patekile, who is going to provide us with an update of those arrests, but also give us an indication of policing efforts with regard to actually working on these investigations and trying to find those guilty of perpetuating these crimes. Please, Commissioner, a busy 48 days, a bloody 48 days in the Western Cape with regard to these mass shootings. Areas of concern for community members, for residents of the Western Cape, but especially for the police. Tell me about efforts with regard to all 3 incidences in terms of how the police are reacting or responding to these mass shootings.
I'll start with this one, where we are. There was a shooting last night here, where apparently about 8 people. There were 6 people died on the scene, and 2 were injured. 1 died in hospital. And we've set up a team since last night that we're tracking down those who are responsible. That led to the arrest of 3, a 22-year-old, a 17-year-old, and a 24-year-old, and 29-year-old. And we also retrieved a firearm, an illegal firearm. Now they will be appearing in court for murder, attempted murder, and the possession of illegal firearms. And as far as Atlantic one, we're still investigating. We have not had any breakthrough, but requesting the community to assist us to find those responsible for those murders. And as far as the one that we're talking about in Athlone, then there was 1 person dead at this stage. We have not cracked that one. We're again appealing that assist us to get to the bottom of that. But what we are doing is deploying more members to stabilize the areas, to ensure that safety in that area and the calm comes down in those areas, in Atlantis, here in Bishop Lavis, and Athlone, and other areas that have been flare in the gang violence.
So that now brings the total of these 3 incidences to 13 fatalities in over 48 hours. We've received confirmation from the police that all 3 incidences were gang-related. Could you speak more to that, please?
Yeah, these are gang stations. Any of the murders that happen, mostly they are gang-related. And even the people that were arrested, we will confirm whether it's they are the gang members, but it's more likely that they are gang members. But what we're not sure if the ones that were shot here in this area were also gang members. That is a part of investigation that will be continuing to confirm or refute whether they were gang members or not gang members, or were the victims that were innocent in this shooting.
The sheer amount of mass shootings over the past few days are reason for concern. Do you have reassurances for Western Cape residents when it comes to their own safety?
Look, we have launched the festive season operations with all other law enforcement officers and law enforcement agencies, as well as other stakeholders. And we are actually on the ground. For example, in this area where we are, we were concentrating at Valhalla Park, which is a hotspot area for the gangs. This one was not really a hot, as much as it's within the area of Bishop Lavis. But because the gang stations, any place is a you can see we are inside the yard here. The street is far, and we are at the back here where the shooting took place. Yes, we are ready there. We are cooperating with our City of Cape Town and any other law enforcement. We are on the street with our communities, but we want to be more. We want to ask the community to tell us before, so that we can prevent this. We have our number that we've been using for extortion, but that number has also been used for corruption and other incidences. The 0800 314444 number, and we want to thank the comment for using that number. With many of the times we get information, and where we are with this one, it was also an intelligence driven that led us to the arrest that we have with the team that was tracking overnight. That did not sleep until now, until we got this the suspect that we have now.
Well, thank you for speaking to us. That's an update from the Provincial Commissioner of the Western Cape. As you heard what was said now, Michelle, there have been 3 arrests, and investigations are continuing in relation to those other 2 incidents in Atlantis and in Athlone. But we're physically at the site of that gruesome incident where 7 people have now died as a result of the shooting in Bishop Lavis last night. And a bit of reassurances from the police that festive season tactics are in place with regard to bolstering boots on the ground in an attempt to keep communities safe. But of course, we'll be keeping our viewers updated as to ongoing investigations and breakthroughs in these multitude of cases, Michelle.
Latashia Naidoo, thanks very much indeed for that update. They're in conversation with the Western Cape Police Commissioner, Thembisile Patekile.